Good afternoon, welcome to Rovers TV and the LD Nutrition Stadium for this round 7 Super 8's the qualifiers game between Featherstone Rovers and Warrington Wolves. This afternoon's match sponsors, the big match sponsor Alto Digital, match ball sponsor CJ Joinery and Building, associate match sponsor DE3 IT Solutions, executive match sponsor PS Welding and Engineering, man of the match sponsor Pinders Print and Art and Design. Featherstone Rovers team first of all at fullback Kyron Johnson, on the wings Scott Turner and Josh Hardcastle, in the centres Missy Talapapa and Josh Walters, halfbacks Anthony Thackeray and Matty Wildy, props Daryl Griffin and Sam Brooks, hooker Keel Carlisle, second row John Davis and Connor Farrell, and loose forward James Lockwood. On the interchange we see the return of Kyle Briggs, Luke Cooper, Brad Tagg and Richard Moore. Head coach John Duffy. Warrington Wolves, fullback Stephen Ratchford, wingers Ben Pomeroy and Matty Russell, centres Peter Hiku and Harvey Livette, halfbacks Kevin Brown and Kurt Gidley, props Chris Hill and Ashton Sims, hooker Darryl Clark, second row Ben Curry and Jack Hughes, loose forward Mike Cooper. On the interchange for Warrington, George King, Andre Savelio, Jack Johnson and Morgan Smith. Head coach is Tony Smith. Referee for this afternoon is Scott Mikolauskas. To enter the field, Featherstone Rovers and Warrington Wolves. It's the home game of the season here in 2017 at the LD Nutrition Stadium. And the two teams come out there. Missy Telepapa carrying, I think that might be his son there, I think. Obviously,
it certainly looks like it.
Yeah.
It's about the right age.
Yeah, get a rugby ball in his hands, I say. Start up young. So Missy Telepapa coming out onto the field with his son and other mascots as well from the teams that have been playing. Both teams would play carrying the match ball, so they're going to line up at the moment. Of Morgan Smith there for Warrington Wolves, grandson of another Featherstone Rovers legend, Pete Smith. He looks to have a heavily scratched left knee at the moment, does Morgan though. So we've previously met, we will be having the minute silence for Steve Evans, so we'll join you on commentary after that has been completed.
76 tries in 140 appearances for Featherstone in a 6-year spell with the club. Evans won the First Division Championship as a Rovers player in 1977. He went on to enjoy stints with Hull FC, Wakefield and Sheffield before returning to Featherstone as chairman in 2004. He served at the helm for 2 years. Our thoughts are with his family and friends of Steve, and will now pause for a minute's silence on the referee's whistle to remember him.
Immaculate that minute for Steve Evans. I would say a real shock for the club this weekend was the news that he had passed away. So Featherstone Rovers are playing down the slope towards the Post Office Road end. Steve, they must have won the toss, must Featherstone. The rain has stopped now though. that Warrington will be pleased about. So
Yeah.
Scott Turner is going to get this game underway for Featherstone. Let's see where they're playing. It does look as though Castle is on the wing with the way that they're
Looks like
lining
the way
up,
they're starting off, and Missy is on the left. It probably could be difficult for them to swap over. We'll see what happens later in the game.
Turner kicks this game off, the round 7 Super 8 qualifiers game. Featherstone Rovers against Warrington Wolves. It's taken well. Chris Hill drives the ball forward. He's first ball up in this game, and he's 15 metres away from his line for Featherstone Rovers players. Now the two props taking it forward for Warrington Wolves. Two players in there, Farrell and Carlisle in at the tackle. Warrington up to the 30-metre line. Featherstone will be looking for a good defensive set here to make the mark on this game. Chris Hill, it goes back to again. He gets up to the 40 line. Featherstone in on the tackles. Physiotherapist on already to the field for Featherstone. I'm not sure if that's a message. It's the last tackle coming across now. So it's the fourth tackle, not the last. It's been taken forward by Ben Curry. It's the last tackle now, and Warrington are on the Featherstone 40. Comes to Gidley. He takes the kick, and Carlisle puts good pressure on him. It's one for Johnson to take, and he spills it. That's not the best take by Kyron Johnson, and perhaps a little bit of nerves coming in there. It was an easily takeable kick, and he's put it to the ground on his own 10-metre line. Warrington are going to get the put in. An early spell of pressure for Warrington here, Steve.
Yes, it's bad news, is that? And Kyron seems to be a confidence player for me, and I think that will have shattered his confidence. I just hope he gets over it.
It is. It's for your first catch of the game, put it to the floor. It's not good to have that marker. So Warrington put the ball in at the scrum here. It comes out into the middle. Jack Hughes taking it forward. It comes out to the right-hand side, and Warrington to go in for an easy first try with Peter out right-hand side, straight from the scrum. Featherstone defence non-existent out there on that left-hand side of defence there. You could have driven us in.
It was just simple passing up the line. Kyron went out onto the left wing, and but the other defenders were sucked in, and all they had to do was just move it from left to right, and the winger he strolled in, basically.
37 seconds gone in this. Oh no, sorry, 30. It was a couple of minutes gone even. Not reading the scoreboard right there. So a couple of minutes gone in this game. Peter Hick, who goes in for a very early try for Warrington Wolves. 4 points to 0, they lead. Let's hope that this isn't a marker down for the rest of the say. It's going to be tough for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon, but that certainly isn't the start that John Duffy would have wanted.
Hey, that's what they do every week, though, so I just hope they can come back like they have done previously.
Difficult touchline conversion now to be taken. It's from near that Warrington. Here he comes up to strike ball. It's successful, so Featherstone go further behind in this game. 6 points to 0, they trail after only 3 minutes of play.
The next goal will be vital because if Featherstone can come back from that, they'll have the heads up. But if we get two early scores from Warrington, it could be.
And it came from the John mistake. It had been a decent defensive Featherstone Rovers up until then. They'd made them kick from the Featherstone 40. It wasn't a hard ball to take. It just ricocheted out of Johnson, and Warrington got away there. So Warrington going out to that right wing. Hiku sells a dummy. He gets past the Featherstone players. It's going to Kevin Brown and stumbles. He then gets it to Ratchford. Ratchford is going to go in for a successive try under the post for Warrington Wolves. This is not good by Featherstone Rovers at the moment. They're getting absolutely caned by Warrington Wolves with only 4 minutes into this game.
I think it was just like a touch and pass try, as was the first one. I don't think a finger was laid on anybody.
No, there weren't. It was from the offload from Ashton C. 13 side. Hiku just sold the dummy. His defensive man out there, it'd be Missy Talapapa, I think, on that side, wouldn't it? And and managed to stream through Featherstone Rovers' defence. It was supporting play by Kevin Brown and Stephen Ratchford. Stephen Ratchford went under the posts for that try. 10 already in this game, and there's not even been 5 minutes of play gone.
It was sad to see the chase back from the Rovers player. That's 3 Warrington players in attendance, all ready to Featherstone player in sight.
Harry Livett now with this conversion under the posts. You'd imagine that, which he does. That's Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 12. After 6 minutes of play in this game, what do Featherstone Rovers do now, Steve?
Well, they do what they've done in the past. It's come back. They can get a score, get their heads up. We were talking about attitude and desire. I mean, now relax. Put the foot on the gas. We have to wait and see.
And they have been going up the hill of Warrington to score those 2 tries as well. So, and see, like you say, and Warrington in hand had the ball in hand apart from that brief Johnson mistake. So Warrington now on their own 20, again, passing it out to that right hand side. I obviously think that there's weak links in the Featherstone defence there, but Cree and Lockwood are in on the tackle.
Yeah, so they'll have watched them on the TV last week, of course. I think that's where
so that was hands in the ruck there. The penalty given against Featherstone Rovers. So Warrington are going to take the tap on the Featherstone 40 there. It's the Dan Clark. So Warrington taking the ball. The first really important in this set of 6 that Featherstone keep Warrington out. So Warrington already 25 metres away from that Featherstone line. Featherstone defenders saying you need to slide down with the ball now. Gets it to Gidley. Pass eventually does to Ben. Gidley, they're coming down the short side, but then Gidley changes back and passes it back into the mid. Sims, who away. They're going to have to stop those. Goes to Hiku once again. He pushes off Talapapa, who then puts it out that door to Ben Pomeroy, who tries to close. He gets brought down. Gidley with the ball. He gets a short ball away to the loose forward Mike. A couple of metres. Eastern defence trying to must now. Comes out to Gidley once again, and there's a move on. Chris Hill with the ball. He's just to get him, and he gets the ball away. Warrington put it to the ground, but they're okay, and they're just throwing it around here, and eventually, is it a try in the corner? It is. Warrington get down. I couldn't see because of the post, but Warrington get a score in the corner. I thought that they tackled it into touch, but it is a try.
Yeah, it's bad viewing it, and it will just get back right to see because it's
got the ball down. I thought he was going to get bundled into touch. Though Hiku is making Talapapa look a bit silly at the moment, isn't he?
I think what Featherstone need to do now is that they need to make these tackles count. They need to hit them hard in the tackle because they're just playing basketball at present. They're throwing the ball about, but no pressure on for them, and they're totally relaxed and they're throwing the ball about at will. It was an offload from Ashton Sims that I didn't see who it was, but
Harry Lever.
Oh, down the line though as well, wasn't there?
Yeah, there is a suspicion that there was a foot in touch there, but it hasn't been given. So Featherstone have to live with that. Harry Livette's going to take this conversion attempt on the left-hand touchline. He converted one from the right-hand touchline before, so we'll see what he does with this. Looks like he's put it across the face of the goal, so that's some respite for Featherstone. Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 16. In this game, it's been all one-way traffic. It's been the Primrose and Blues one-way traffic with ball in hand. Featherstone, 10 minutes. They've never had a set of 6 yet. They must be fed up of seeing Scott Turner kicks the game off again, and it's taken cleanly. It goes to Chris Hill. Chris Hill drives it forward. Griffin, Lockwood and Davis in on the tackle there. They're 15 metres away from the line. Clark in at dummy half. And as the comes, though it's not affected the quality of Warrington's passing this afternoon. That was a forward pass to Chris Hill, and that's not been picked up by the officials. When it's going against you, it's going against you. Darryl Clark now with the ball from dummy half. Griffin, Davis and Farrell in on the tackle as they bring it up to halfway to Warrington. Ratchford in at dummy half, gets it to Ashton Sims. He's just be playing his penultimate game for Warrington Wolves, no doubt, as he's going off to Toronto. It's the last tackle. Brown with the kick forward. Let's see what happens here. He dissects Johnson and Hardcastle. Johnson collects it. And Rovers have the ball in hand at last. They're nearly 30 metres away from their own line. Comes now to Josh Hardcastle with his severe haircut. Forward, Luke Briscoe gets it to Turner, who's coming to the middle. Surely you'd be having your props bringing it up, though, because the props have not really had much of the ball. James Lockwood now takes it forward. Sims and Hill in on the tackle on him. 16-0 here at the LD Nutrition. Now Griffin has the ball. Griffin drives his legs. Featherstone into the Warrington half, although it is the last tackle, and they're about 44 metres away from that Warrington line. Thackeray puts a little kick in. He drills it into touch. Probably the best thing to do at the minute, because I'm guessing that those forwards will need a rest after all that tackling they've been doing.
It can just give them a chance to get their breath and gather the thoughts and decide how they're going to defend this next. What we don't want is Warrington taking it on the side again. We seem very vulnerable down there.
Very vulnerable, and we were against Hull KR as well, if you remember. Their centre was slicing through Featherstone Rovers' defence on that right-hand side. So again, Warrington have done the homework. They know where our vulnerability is, and Warrington get the ball from the scrum. They're 20 metres away from their own line. Livette now takes it in. He's met by Brooks and Griffin, the two props. James Lockwood comes in, but gets it to Gidley, to Curry. Curry looked to lay it off to Ratchford, but decided to take it himself. He gets over the halfway line, makes a good meters forward though. Clark in at dummy half. To Hill. Griffin, Lockwood in there. Better defensive set from Featherstone. There's last tackle being called. They're on the 40. Gidley puts the high kick in. It's another one for Johnson to take. It gets put off by Ratchford. Referee says play on, and he's waved the back to one. He's not having a happy time there, isn't Kyron Johnson at fullback this afternoon. Gidley now with the ball. He lays the ball off to Mike Cooper. The 10 metres out of Warren with 5 tackles left in this set of 6. It's Dane once again for that Featherstone defence. Brown sells the dummy. He gets it out to Ratchford, but Ratchford gets wrapped up on that right-hand side of their attack. 5 metres away, he plays the ball. It comes back to Kevin Brown. Kevin Brown shows the dummy, but decides to go himself. Again, brought to the floor 5 metres out. Warrington can afford to play around with this ball now when they get near Rovers' line. This is what they're doing at the moment. It goes to Livette, and then out on this side with Marley. Comes on the inside. That's a crunching tackle by John Davis to stop him though. Still tackles left in this set as it comes to Gidley. Gidley gives it short to the try line, and that's a great tackle by Featherstone Rovers. It's actually the turnover. It was the last tackle that had been called. They've gone for the power play. He lost the ball. That's what's happened.
It was Farrell that came into the line.
Yeah, so
to grab the man just as we were receiving the ball, he wrapped him up well.
Fantastic tackling, wasn't it, from Featherstone Rovers in the end there. So, and also there was a danger with Matty Russell out on that left wing. He came in the field and was looking dangerous. It was a crunching tackle from John Davis to stop that. And as you say, Farrell came into the line and Warrington ended up losing the ball. So danger was over for Featherstone. Rain's lashing down again here at the LD Stadium, though. Like I say, the ball handling's been pretty good. Talapapa now takes it up to the 20-metre line from that scrum. That's a good run from Talapapa.
Well, Missy there is it's playing in the centre, but it was doing a wingman's job there.
He was.
That's the kind of job that Eccleston should be doing. But to me, I'd like to see them swap round.
The ball being lost there by Lockwood, so Warrington come up with it on a free play. They're throwing the ball about. They know it's a free play. Scott Turner gets his hand in. It's going to be brought back, though, for the first Featherstone knock-on. They feel like there was a hand in the tackle, but Miss Kolauskas says no, and Warrington are going to get the 32 metres away from that Featherstone line, so Featherstone are going to have to do it tough. Kevin Brown's is going to feed this scrum. Talapapa on his haunches while this scrum's being set. Referee calls time off while Talapapa is going to get some treatment here. It's just not happening for Featherstone in this game.
The bounce of the ball's going against them as well.
It is, yeah. It happened at Widnes. The end of that big scoreline at Widnes, and they just didn't seem to be able to stop the Widnes juggernaut. And I think what happens is when sort of under pressure, things just don't go your way either, do they? You know, you make your own luck in this game, as they say, and Featherstone certainly aren't getting the rub of the green this afternoon either. So Warrington from this scrum, Gidley comes round the short side, and it's going to Hiku. Hiku's going down that right-hand side. That was a move
very,
on.
very dangerous, does Hiku. Right centre position.
It certainly does. So the ball's played 15 metres out. It comes into the middle with Brown. Then Hill gets it away to the second row, where he gets it away to Jack Hughes, who goes. That was a move by Warrington Wolves.
Just a short pass from Hill. And Hughes just took the pass, went through the gap and then stepped in and out.
So Jack Hughes with that try. That puts Warrington to a score of 20 points to 0 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. After 17 minutes of play, it's just men against boys at the moment, Steve, isn't it? I'm afraid to say.
Yeah.
Men against boys. And for this, the last home game of the season, it's not the performance that the club would be wanting from the players out there. And if you think about going into the Halifax, the all-important Halifax game at the Shea next week, could have been on today.
Yeah, it's vital next week to win it. But realistically, I thought Featherstone had probably the best chance today of beating a Super League side. That's gone in the space of just a few minutes.
17 minutes, yeah. Livette with the conversion attempt just to the right-hand side of the post now. That's successful. That makes it 22 points to 0 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Makes you wonder what the half-time score is going to be. Luke Cooper enters the field. That's an early substitution that's been made.
Yeah, I mean, they're being run ragged. And we need some fresh legs.
Sam Brooks it is that's left the field. Not Darryl Griffin. Darryl Griffin stayed out there, so it is the younger one of the props that's been brought off. Scott Turner must be fed up of kicking off. He's got the tee there in the middle of the park, and he's going to restart the game. It's a high kick. Gidley takes it and passes it. It's still time. It goes to Matty Russell, who's come round the back for a little bit of play. Darryl Clark shouting orders from dummy half. It goes to Ashton Sims. They get forward towards that 20-metre line. Chris Hill does have the ball now. Luke Cooper in there for the first tackle of the game that he's made. Let's see what Luke can do. Can he make a difference to this Featherstone defence? Can he help stem the tide? Walters and Davis now in the tackle out on this left-hand centre on Curry. Warrington up to the 40. This is a good defensive set by Featherstone. They've kept Warrington in their own half. This kick's going to have to come from the 40, although they're passing it along the line. Ratchford with the kick. He puts it forward towards Johnson. Johnson flips a little bit as he tries to take it forward. 30-metre line. Matty Wildy's in at dummy half. It's to Hardcastle. Hardcastle takes it up to the 40-metre. Scott Turner goes himself from dummy half. He takes it up to the halfway line. Waiting for the play of the ball. He gives it to Hardcastle. Warrington up quickly on Hardcastle, though. It's as though Featherstone don't have any room to manoeuvre. Griffin takes it forward now. Hill in the tackle. It's the last one as well. So Featherstone on the Warrington 40. It comes to Thackeray. Thackeray puts a high kick up. This is to test Ratchford, although he's able to take it without any pressure. He dances round Luke Cooper, but Lockwood and Wildy are there to tackle him. Wildy isn't in the Featherstone Rovers side this season, Matty Wildy. Good season he's had too with Featherstone. First full season he's had with them. So we've got Hiku now. He's come away from that right-hand side. He's taking it up the middle, but he's built like a second row forward, isn't he? So that's why he's having so much impact. They're passing it away to this left-hand side now with Livett. Hardcastle with a good tackle with Wildy. Curry was looking for a pass from Livett, but he didn't do it. Curry goes from dummy half, dances around Livett, comes to Gidley, to Sims. Sims taking it forward. It's the last tackle and the 32 metres away from the Featherstone line. Then it comes to Brown. Brown over the top. This one's going to be for Scott Turner this time. He jumps and takes that.
He done well for that, didn't Scott? Nice
take by Turner, that. Take his eye off the ball there, jumped well. Featherstone, though, are in the wrong end of the field. 10-metre line. Thackeray in at dummy half, gives it to Hardcastle. 20, it's 20 minutes gone in this game. It is Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 20. See tag into the field for Featherstone. Connor Farrell now with the ball. He's dropped it though. It was a big impact tackle. But he's saying first knock on is the referee there. What's he going to give at the scrum? Let's just see. Now it's a put into Warrington. So I'm not sure that put his foot up in the air. Whether he's going to come into Featherstone. James Lockwood it is that's left field. He missed by Brad Tagg, who's, like I said earlier, is making his 50th appearance for Featherstone Rovers this afternoon alongside Missy Talapapa. So this set Warrington 30 metres out. So Featherstone, when they've got ball in hand, making a few mistakes and giving the ball, the possession over to Warrington, something that they definitely don't need to do at 22-0 scoreline. So Warrington Wolves on the Featherstone 20 with Ashton Sims. Clark in at dummy half. Goes to Chris Hill. Hill takes it up to around 12 metres out away from the Featherstone line. Across to Kevin Brown. Brown to that man Hiku. He fends off Talapapa and then the sneaker ball out the back door. That looks like a try in the right-hand corner. Oh, Ben Pomeroy.
He didn't seem to have any room there, but he not defended off two men. I think it was Talapapa Turner, I believe. It was a nice low pass out to
Hiku's causing lots of problems out on that left-hand side of defence. Like you say, fended off Talapapa, and then I think Turner had to come in to support Talapapa. That left out on his own on that right-hand side, and he was able to go in, squeeze in at that right-hand corner, making another difficult conversion attempt for Livett. He seems to be handling them so far in this game. So it's Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 26. Featherstone being taught a lesson this afternoon of how to play this, isn't it?
Well, the pressure's off for them, and they are throwing the ball about.
You could argue the pressure's off for Featherstone.
Yeah.
They've not got a £1 million game to make or anything like that. You know, they're the underdogs. They've got nothing to lose, but right from the off, they've not been able to bring anything to the party yet, as Livette strikes this ball. It's unsuccessful though, so Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 26. 23 minutes of play in this game at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Home game of the season. It's looking a very tired Featherstone Rovers outfit. Kickoff's been taken by Kyron Johnson, and it's a short one. Has gone to come over to this right wing. It's going to be Featherstone Rovers' ball. So John Davies gets the ball away to Thackeray, but that's a great tackle there by Brown on Thackeray, and now it comes to Talapapa. So Featherstone in the Warrington half the ball. It was a good move by them, and Talapapa earns a penalty at that play of the ball, and we say it every week. He's a penalty earning machine, is Missy Talapapa.
It certainly is. It's as if he did play for that.
You're at the ruck, and yeah, it goes all in the book. Featherstone is going to take the tap on the 20 metre line with Cale Carlisle. It's driven 15 metres out. Come on, Featherstone Rovers, let's have a score.
It's the first real chance.
So it comes to Darryl Griffin. Griffin takes it up to the 10 metre line. Carlisle in at dummy half. He shows it to Thackeray, but then there's a move by Wildy, goes to Walters on the right centre, but Warrington defence has stood there waiting for him. Nobody was fooled by that. The 8 metres out, Featherstone now. Carlisle to Wildy. Wildy to Cooper. Cooper's looking for his first try of the season. He gets tackled there 6 metres out. He tries to get to his feet. The referee says, come on, get up to your feet, play it. Comes to Thackeray. Thackeray with a long ball out to Turner, but it flies straight in. Turner wasn't on. It actually came in, so...
Right down in communications there. It was a good pass if there was a man there.
It was an excellent pass if there'd have been a man there, but Turner had actually come in and he wasn't ready for that, so like you said, communication totally. Stephen 10 metres out, Warrington putting it the scrum, so that bit of excitement went for short-lived, unfortunately.
Went on the outside of the scrum to Scott Turner's one. But they took the inside anyway, so...
That's a great tackle. This is what the Featherstone fans want to see. Brad Taggart was. He's come on the field. Let me have with it. That's what they need to do. They've got to get in Warrington's.
They've got to make the tackles crunch.
They have. They've got to hurt them. Brad Tagg's like a man possessed out there. He's been involved in the first 3 tackles in this set, and he's going in hard as well as the lads. So fair play to him.
Some of these Warrington guys are looking towards the World Cup.
Yeah.
If it's there.
The guys won't. Last tackle, it's on the halfway. Gidley puts the kick in. Carlisle chases well, but it comes bouncing to Kyron Johnson, who picks the ball up. He bounces off the 2 tacklers, eventually gets put down on the 20 metre line. Wildy, it comes to Josh Hardcastle, doesn't go very far there with in hand there. Wildy still on the 20 metre line. It comes short to Walters. Walters taking it forward. He takes it over the 30. Wildy again in at dummy half. He's doing quite a bit of the traditional hooking. Carlisle's he's coming in dummy half now, so they're kind of sharing that responsibility. It comes to Luke Cooper now, driving it forward. Luke Cooper gets around a few Warrington tacklers. He gets it to the halfway line. It's the last tackle, as the referee's called it. Takes an age to get. It's a bit of messing in the ruck. Thackeray puts the kick. He's looking for the touch line. It bounces just before. Goes in there. Scrum's going to be set about 10 metres away from the Warrington line.
There's a good kick again by Thackeray there. He's quite good at these short kicks, but when he's putting the high ones up, he doesn't have the height that gives his chasers a chance to get up there and put pressure on the fullback.
It tends to be Briggs that's the good one putting the height up of. Wondering at what point John Duffy will Briggs into the action. We do know that he's suffering with an injury. It will be Kyle Briggs' last home game here at Featherstone Road as he leaves the club. So Warrington with Peter Hiku taking the ball forward, taking it over the Warrington 20. Featherstone defence needs those crunching tackles again from them, and Ashton Sims gets tackled by Tagan. It's Warrington. Smith is on Featherstone. Jeans there, and leaves, and it's King and that leave. Brown puts a big kick up. Johnson not looking confident under that. He totally misjudged it, but he eventually does take it. Hearts in mouth time a bit.
He recovered well there because, as you say, miles away from it.
11 minutes left to half time. It's Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves. So Scott Turner with a scoop from dummy half. He takes it forward out of the 40, and he to get a penalty. Ashton Sims, it wasn't clearing them sufficiently in Mr. Mikalauskas's. So Featherstone get a penalty. They're going to get a tap in the Warrington half. They're going to start on the 40, is it? The Warrington 40 it is. So Keil Carlisle takes that tap. Davies bringing it forward towards 30. Brad Tagg taking it forward. He's looked good since he's come on. That great drive from Brad Tagg. Slow to get up to the ball. He was looking. Daryl Griffin on the charge now. Daryl Griffin pumping his feet. He gets it 8 metres away. Featherstone again looking for a quick play of the ball. Getting frustrated by this. Carlisle to Wildy. Wildy's met by Sims though. A couple of metres away. He's going to attempt to play this ball as it gets rolled over. Short pass there to Griffin. Griffin gets it out the back door to Tagg. Tagg manages to get away from Smith. Eventually gets the last is out. Carlisle with a little kick through. Gidley has to pat it dead, so Featherstone force the drop out.
Nice bit of inventiveness there by Carlisle. But also, I thought he could have had a penalty there. I thought they held him back. He could have got to the ball, but at least we got a drop out.
Yeah, managed to force excessive set of 6 of Featherstone Rovers there. So the dropout comes Ratchford. It is who takes it. He scuffs along the floor towards the 40 metre. He passes it to Griffin, who takes it over the 30. Carlisle's looking one way and the other. He's going to get it to Luke Cooper. Like I say, Cooper and Tagg are the players that haven't scored a try yet for Featherstone this season. They'll be looking to get one in either this next game. Tagg taking it forward now. That's 2 good drives from Cooper, and Tagg taking them within 5 metres of the line. Carlisle out to Wildy, but the Warrington defence are up on him quickly there. It was too slow, was that, from Featherstone. But 8 metres out. Carlisle, one-handed pickup, gets it to Cooper. Cooper runs into the brick wall of Ashton Sims under the post. It's last tackle. He's going to play the ball to Carlisle. Gets it away to Thackeray, who juggles with it. Thackeray kicks it to Josh Hardcastle, who mops it up and almost loses it. It's still the last. He needs to get rid. Does Josh Hardcastle. He gets rid to Walters. Walters puts the kick through. He chases it. Matty Russell chases it also. Matty Russell's going to pick it up in that right-hand corner. Featherstone Rovers get something out of that because Warrington are having to only 5 metres away from their own line. I'm sure it's through fortune rather than anything else. It was from Thackeray's mistake and Richard Moore on the field for Featherstone.
It's good to see Richard Moore coming on. We need someone with a bit of... and we're seeing that from Brad Tagg and Luke Cooper.
It's Daryl Griffin that Richard to replace. But like you say, since the introduction of the subs, I think Featherstone have got a bit more fire in their bellies, haven't they, Steve?
They certainly have, yes. This is a bit more like how they were in the second half against SLQ6.
It is. So Featherstone now, they've kept Warrington in to the own 30 line. It's the last tackle. It goes to Gidley. Gidley's under pressure from Farrell. He has to get a hurried kick away. Johnson's under it. He collects it on his own 30. He's running forward with it. He's shaped to pass to Hardcastle, but Livett wraps Johnson up, but he's just shy of the halfway line. There is Kyron Johnson. Hardcastle goes from dummy half there. He gets tackled by Livett. The man is in at dummy half to Wildy. Wildy to John Davis. Davis throws a speculative pass that goes forward. And unfortunately, Matty Russell picks it up. Andre Savelio, who's new on the field, gets the ball. Messy from Featherstone there in the end. Perhaps the pass forced that shouldn't have been there.
Well, it was a pass out of desperation, really. There was nothing on anyway, so I can't see why I just didn't hold on to the ball.
So King and Savelio are on for Warrington Wolves. Now it comes down this left-hand side with Curry. That's a good tackle from Josh Walters, though. Pulls him to the ground. Livett in at dummy half. It goes to Gidley, who puts it back to Savelio, who sells a dummy to John Davis. Davis tries to track back. Savelio's going for that line. And I think he might have got the ball down in attendance of 3 or 4 Featherstone players. He sold the dummy to Davis, did Savelio. You don't see many players going round John Davis, but he did, and he's managed to eventually force himself over that line.
He seemed to score that try in slow motion, Joe. Where he was going, he was just dancing in and out. It was more like Strictly Come Dancing.
So it's Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 30. At the LD Nutrition, 6 minutes to half time.
Try for Warrington, scored by number 18.
So Savelio, he'd not been on the field very long, and he's come up with a try. Livette's going to have the conversion attempt about 8 metres in from that left-hand touch line. He'll be looking to make it 32-0. 12 minutes had gone there before Warrington, in between Warrington scoring, so I think that's probably the longest that Featherstone have gone at keeping Warrington out, and they've actually had some ball in hand as well.
It was a good spell, really, plenty of energy and determination.
Okay, so Harry Livett with the conversion. He's getting plenty of kicking practice this afternoon. And it's successful, so that made it 32 points to 0 in Warrington's favour in this Super 8 qualifier game, the last home game in Nutrition Stadium. 5 minutes left to half time.
And Briggs is winning.
We said, when will Kel Briggs be introduced? And here he is, Kyron Johnson. Again, Scott turned it down on this. We're seeing another kick-off. We are. It's gone a little deeper this time, though. Taken by Chase all the way. And then Hiku come into the middle. He gets tackled on his own third. Trying to do that short kick-off again, just didn't come off. So King now with the ball. Cooper and Carlisle in the tackle with Moore. Curry out on his left-hand side. He gets wrapped up. It's Walters Wildy combination and Carlisle. Cooper taking it forward. Good tackle there by Cooper on Cooper there. So he was good on his namesake there, was Luke Cooper, and Mike Cooper actually looks a bit injured, but Ratchford now on this right hand is through. He's getting the ball away. That's going to be another try to Warrington Wolves even. Wishful thinking. Jack Hughes it is at the right hand side of the posts. So Warrington Wolves extend game. Ratchford, he went through a hot knife, like a hot knife through butter there with the Featherstone defence.
I'm sorry to say, there's Cal Briggs with Miles. It just couldn't get near him.
So Jack Hughes gets his of this game. Livette no doubt will convert it. That's 38 points to 0, 3.5 minutes left to half time. It's not a great line going into half time, this at all, is it?
Can someone wind the blow?
I wonder what John Duffy will say at half time. We'll have a chat about that in a minute. We'll just let Livette take this conversion, and then when they're coming back to take the kick-off, we'll have a chat about what sort of things you say as a coach when you're on the end of a scoreline like this at half time. So here we go with Livette. He should pop this over. He does. So that's Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 38 in this game. So, John Duffy, you're John Duffy, Steve. What would you be saying at half time to you, cleanly, to your players?
I've just wondered who signed contracts.
I
would.
I wonder who signed contracts. Most of the team, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to say. After the last two performances, they've been very good.
They have.
Just flabbergasted by them.
Goodness relived. Perhaps it's Cheshire team handle, or maybe some of the stronger Super League teams in these middle eight, the Super 8 qualifiers that they can't handle. Just too fast. The passing still come up with it to Warrington. It's actually a penalty for offside, though, from Warrington Wolves. So Featherstone get the penalty. Wilde is with the ball in hand. He's going to put the ball to touch. They're looking at the Featherstone players out there. They just look absolutely tired. They're really pulling in the big ones in terms of air. And Carlisle's going to hit this. Joss with the ball. Takes it over the 20. Carlisle in at dummy half. He gets it to Richard Moore. Richard Moore taking it forward. He's not got anybody on his shoulder. He wasn't looking to pass there, to be fair, and he just gets it over the 10-metre line. Carlisle looking for a quick play of the ball. Gets it to Tag. Tag driving it forward. It's a couple of metres out. Nothing fancy from Featherstone yet. Just drive at the minute. Carlisle now to Wilde. To Briggs. Briggs loses the ball, so it's going to be a knock-on, and Warrington putting at the scrum.
There were two men on Briggs there when he received the ball.
An old-fashioned hospital pass, you could say. And I think they're just moving up so close.
They're so much quicker.
They are, and that is the difference between Super League and Championship Rugby. As the half-time hooter goes here, still got 30 seconds on the clock according to the scoreboard, but the hooter has been blown here at LD Nutrition Stadium. Not Featherstone Rovers half. Oh my word, it's Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 38. We've seen tries, the try from in the first couple of minutes by Peter Hiku. Livette converted, that was 6-0. We then saw Stephen Ratchford going in at 5 minutes, and that was converted too. Harry Livette scored himself out on this left-hand touchline after 9 minutes. Featherstone was 16-0 down within the first 10 minutes of this half. Then we saw Jack Hughes score the first of his 2 tries this afternoon on 17 minutes. Pomeroy then scored out on the right-hand wing. They scored them all over, really, at the minute at Warrington in this first half. Andre Savelio, a newcomer onto the field, then went in for a try, converted by Livette. And then just before half-time, a few minutes before, we saw Jack Hughes getting his try from that Ratchford run, and Harry Livette converted that. Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 38. Oh, it's not great viewing, is it? I feel for the Featherstone Rovers here this afternoon. They thought that we'd put up a better fight like this. It's up to Featherstone to come out in the second half, isn't it, Steve, and show what they're made of.
They need to show some pride.
They do.
Put some weight behind the tackle. Hit them as hard as they can.
And, you could point out that, you know, the first thing that happened was Johnson losing the ball and then they went in for a quick... That's unfortunate, and yes, Johnson will be ruining that, but you can't put the half down to that, can you? The half's performance. You've got to then say what happened after that, and just could not get hold of the ball for a good 12 minutes after that, and when they were tackling, they were becoming more and more fatigued, and they were just not able to like you said, put those crunching tackles in.
They were slower in the tackle. They weren't so forward, so much faster. And they moved it out to that right wing where the centre was totally devastated.
And, you know, at Rovers TV, we always try to look on the positives, but to be honest, in that first half, positive were they at all? So
I would say the positive was the performance of Rattan, who came on and showed some real fire.
He certainly did. He did Brad Tagg and Cooper, to be fair. I think when Cooper and Tagg came on the field, they're probably the standout players of you know, of their performances that they brought once they came on, and the tide was stemmed somewhat. So anyway, we're going to take a break for half time at the moment. We'll join you in the second half, hopefully for a much improved Featherstone Rovers performance. Welcome back to Rovers TV. It is Featherstone Rovers 0, Warrington Wolves 38. In this round 7 Super 8 qualifiers tie, Warrington Wolves out on the field. We had some technical difficulties in that first half. Apparently there's a lot of breaking up. Hopefully you can hear us well now. Please let us know if you can't, and we'll see what we can do. So I think, as Jason Hopkinson said, it's hard listening on more than just one count. It is hard commentating as well on more than one count this afternoon. It's not only has our commentary been breaking up, the Featherstone Rovers defence has been broken up too this afternoon. So breaking up all around us here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Featherstone Rovers, I think, getting a strict talking to at the half-time, because they've only just entered the field. Warrington have been out a few minutes. Obviously, Tony Smith, they won't have had a lot to say to his charges. Featherstone are going to be playing uphill in the second half towards the new stand end. Warrington towards the Post Office Road end. They're going down the slope. They're going to kick off to Featherstone. Stefan Ratchford it is, who's going to get this second half underway just as soon as Scott Mikolauskas tells him to do so. So, game back underway. Ratchford takes that kick. It's a low one. It doesn't go. It skids along the turf. Briggs traps it with his foot, gets it away to Luke Cooper. Cooper takes it forward. Just wonder what I'd have loved to have been a fly on the wall in that dressing room at half-time. I wonder what they did say, but I'm sure that it wouldn't have been pretty. And it's all, as Steve said just before half-time, it's all about Featherstone playing for pride now. As Richard Moore takes the ball forward, he's looking to offload, but Warrington prevent him from doing so. He's up to the 30. Tagg, who had such an impressive game, he was the shining star out of the Featherstone Rovers performance in the first half. Briggs with an early kick, puts it forward, he gets it in between Hiku and Ratchford, but Ratchford collects it and he takes it up to his own 40. Ratchford plays the ball, it's Smith in at dummy half. Hiku taking it, he looks to pass it, but gets put to the floor by Tagg, Cooper and Farrell. Savelio now with a little step. He's such a promising youngster, is Andre Savelio, who takes it over the Featherstone 40. So Warrington in the Featherstone half already in this set of 6. Comes now to Cooper. Cooper's at Mike Cooper. He's over the 30. Luke Cooper in on the tackle on him. And now comes to Kevin Brown, who dummies to Savelio, then to Ratchford, then to Hiku. Hiku fends off Alapapa, but Hiku actually passes to Kyle Briggs there, so Turner comes away with the ball, and a rare mistake from Warrington Wolves in attack there, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I thought Hiku was going to go through there, and then he tried to pass inside.
And Kyle Briggs was there tracking back. So I'm not sure if he
mistake
shouted.
is made, really. Hiku he's been the man of the match for me so far. But,
Moore gets it out the back door there to Johnson. Johnson gets it away to Tag. Tag drives his forward. Yeah, he's had such a good game as Brad Tag. He's really looks like he's wanted to put that effort in as Tag this afternoon. And it's the last tackle. Featherstone 5 metres into the Warrington half. Carlisle gets it to Briggs on this short side. Briggs kicks it, a grubber towards Ratchford, who collects it on his 10. He brings it forward, and Cooper's there with Tag to tackle Ratchford. A scoop from dummy half there from Matty Russell, and he gets away, but the referee said he'd actually been tackled. There's a bad injury down on the floor there for a Featherstone player. It's not Brad Tag, is it? Could be, yeah. It was as Matty Russell raced past him, and I'm not sure if Tag had got in wrong on him. It looks like they're just looking. He's managed to roll over, whether it's just precautionarily looking at his neck. Doctor's on with the physio. Matty Russell,
it's definitely upper body, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Matty Russell, he forced his way through from dummy half, didn't he? And it was kind of...
He kicked his way out. He could have caught a boot. With Brad.
Yeah, you're right. He sort of like squeezed through and kicked his legs out to carry on, didn't he? But the referee had already said that the tackle was complete. Tag looks like he's sitting up now, so that's good news. They've checked him over. Like I say, it's always a precaution in rugby league. Whenever there's an upper body injury, the doctor's just checking his neck and his neck movement and down at the base of his spine now, just to make sure that he's okay to carry on. He's got up to his feet as Tag. It's physio said he's okay to carry on, so he'll probably feel a little bit sore, but he's a tough cookie, he's Tag, so he's there on markers. He's just sort of like moving his spine around a little bit. Obviously just got awkwardly in the tackle with Matty Russell there. So Warrington play the ball, and they get up towards the halfway line with Cooper. It comes out to Kevin Brown now on this right-hand side. The miss a player out. It's to Ratchford. Ratchford gets tackled by the ankles by Talapapa. Savelio's in at dummy half. Brown on the charge. He gets it to Pomeroy, but Scott Turner just with a hand in there, puts it into touch. Tag's back on the floor, unfortunately. I think he's going to have to be seen to again. He's obviously feeling the effects of this tackle. It looks like he might have to come off. He's not right.
He's holding
his right.
His upper thigh, his right thigh. But
I was going to say buttock.
Yeah, but just below there.
But he's certainly not right, isn't Brad out there? And I think they're going to have to look to replace him, because he's
definitely struggling.
Yeah. And that's sad to see, because for me, he was my man of the match so far.
Yes, yeah.
James Lockwood it is that's going to replace Brad Tag. Let's hope that's nothing too serious and he'll be back against Halifax, but he's puffing and blowing, and he is a tough lad, he's Brad Tag. He's not sort of who'd feign an injury, and it's genuine when he's looking like that. So Warrington with the ball from this scrum. Ratchford gets it to Livette. Out on the left-hand side, good cover defence by Featherstone Rovers. 5 metres out, Warrington are the Wolves. It comes to Gidley. And then the ball's taken forward by George King. Dummy half, Morgan Smith goes for a scoot, and Ratchford tackled himself there. He slipped over in this slippy turf. Just a couple of metres out of Warrington, and it comes out. They're spreading it to Brown, who passes it back on the inside, and they're just keeping the ball alive here. It comes back to Brown once again. Good tackle by Briggs, though, on Brown. Lost a little bit of ground there of the Wolves. They're 18 metres out now. But like I say, passing it around. It comes now to Savelio. The pass goes to Pomeroy, but it's a forward pass. Mikolauskas deems it's a forward pass, so Featherstone going to get the scrum on the 10.
Yeah, some welcome relief there for Featherstone. I don't know if he could have squeezed in at the corner, but I think Scott Turner had him covered anyway.
He did, so yeah, it's 10 metres. It is put in by Kyle Briggs.
It's Thackeray that's off the pitch for Kyle Briggs, by the way.
Oh, right, okay, thank you for that. So that's something we didn't spot in the first half. So it is a run by Josh Hardcastle. He makes a good 10, 12, 15 metres forward. It comes now to Richard Moore. Richard Moore with the ball in hand, always looking for an offload, but wasn't able to get it. Then it comes to Lockwood now. Featherstone trying to add a sense of urgency into their attack. They're just 5 metres short of the halfway line. Cooper tries to do a step, but that's a good tackle by Smith. Helped out by Jack Hughes. It's the last tackle. Briggs puts the kick in. He drills it to touch past Hiku. So Warrington Wolves are going to get a put in at the scrum 15 metres away from their own line.
He got set by Featherstone and they finished it well with a fairly decent kick by Kyle. Better to put it into touch than just drill it downfield and let the fullback come forward 20 metres.
So Wolves with Kevin Brown with the put in at the scrum, comes out the back, and Warrington taking it forward now. Moore, Davis, Lockwood and Carlisle in on that tackle, and King now taking the ball forward. Warrington 35 metres away from their own line. So again, spun out to Livette. So quick is the passing here, and Matty Russell out on that left wing has got the ball in hand, and he gets tackled eventually, brought to the floor 25 metres out.
It was
by
really
Josh
they got
Walters.
across it. It was outstanding in defence last week, and he closed them down again.
Jack Hughes with a short pass to Hiku. Hiku's going to go in for a try. Johnson's not going to stop him, so it was a good pass there by Hiku, but by Hughes to Hiku. Hiku goes in for a try, his second of the afternoon.
It just seems that they just need to stretch it out to the right-hand side every time that we stop them on the left, and just bring it out to the right as they stroll in.
And this is what I was just going to say, that the speed of their passing along the line is a class above the Featherstone Rovers passing, isn't it? And,
yes, it is.
And we talk about Super League, and you know, you have to remember, and I'm not making excuses at all here, but you have to remember that Featherstone Rovers are part-time. They don't get the training time that the full-time teams get. The part-time teams are training a couple of times, 2 to 3 times a week with limited hours. These guys, that's all they have to do all week.
Well, they've got to keep fit, haven't they, when they're part-timers. And then they've got a bit of time for to practice the moves, but these fluid passing moves,
they're the things that you don't have the time to practice, aren't they? You know, and
one other thing is they say that Featherstone's are poor defenders of kicks, but they don't have the time to put in on practice.
No,
the full-time teams have.
Livette now with the conversion attempts. He gets it bang through the middle of the uprights. So Featherstone Rovers 0. Warrington Wolves 44 in this game after 48 minutes of play. And that's not us trying to make excuses whatsoever, you know, but Warrington certainly are a class or even 2 classes above Featherstone Rovers this afternoon, and it's the God's honest truth is that, you know. So Johnson with the kickoff, he drills it a bit further this time. He's not gone for the short kickoff option. It's taken on the Warrington 20. Walters in the tackle there with Davis. They're going down the short side with is that Matty Russell there that went down there. It comes now with George King driving it forward. He takes it 5 metres short of the halfway line, still in the Warrington half, and it's been put along the line by Gidley, and then Brown, who checks himself and comes on the inside. Farrell's in on the tackle with him with Carlisle. Just a couple of metres in the half. That's a forward pass to Gidley. Again, not picked up by the officials. Touch judge, surely you could have seen that. So like we say, when it's not going for it, it's not going for. Gidley now with the kick on the last. It's a high one. It's been chased by Ratchford. Well taken, though, by Johnson. In fact, it's an offside. In fact, he was caught in the air by Ratchford, was Johnson. So an even better take, impressive take by him there.
That was a very good take, very brave as well, under fire. I mean, you can tell that the chasers were offside.
Yeah,
but they were right up on him. And he still went up in the air.
Yeah,
it looked certain to get clattered, but he still went up and took the ball.
He did. James Lockwood now taking the ball forward. He takes it over the 30. Carlisle in at dummy half to Moore. Moore trying to face his own players to get it away, but Warrington stop him doing so again, and Lockwood makes a mistake. Ran onto that pass. It was over his shoulder, though, and it bounced off his shoulder, and perhaps not the best pass.
He overran the pass there. It was...
timing wasn't great, was it?
If it had been passed, if it had received the pass in the correct place in the breadbasket, it would have been a forward pass. So,
it would.
So you can't blame the passer there.
Timing all off there by Lockwood. So Warrington going to set this scrum just short of the Featherstone 40. Gidley now to Stephen Ratchford on the inside to Russell, who always looks like a live wire when he's got the ball in hand. He's like an electric nugget is Matty Russell, and Featherstone Rovers do deal with him. They come down this left-hand side, though, do Warrington with Ben Clark. He gets tackled on the Featherstone 10. Danger time for Featherstone once again. It comes to Gidley. Now to King. King had to reach behind him for that. He'd overrun it this time, but he did manage to hold on to the ball. 12 metres out now of the Wolves. Smith in at dummy half. He dodges one way, dodges the other, and then gets the ball away to Mike Cooper, who's going towards the line. He's going to be held up over the line, though, so it's going to be taken back to the 10 metre for a play the ball by Cooper. Smith in at dummy half. He gets the ball away to Brown on the left-hand side, and then to Livett, who sells the dummy and goes in easily, does Harry Livett. It was a lovely dummy. He gets his second try of the game.
They were just simple passing along the line, but out to the left this time. But as you say, it was a good dummy that enabled him to just race through the line.
So that's 48 points to 0. Livett will be looking to convert his own try to bring up the 50. Sam Brooks is back on the field, and we've got a new entrant from Warrington in Jack Johnson. He's come on for Kevin Brown. He's had a decent game as Brown. He's had his knockers, hasn't he, this year? Probably taken quite a while to get sort of into the Warrington style of play, but he's certainly had a good game against Featherstone this afternoon.
Well, when the side's struggling, it's always hard for the halfbacks to pick it up.
As the halfbacks for Featherstone have found this afternoon. So Livett looking to convert his own try, and he will be looking to get the half ton up for Warrington. Still plenty of time left in this game, 27 minutes, so not looking good for Featherstone in terms of scoreline, isn't this? We could be looking for a record score if this is kept up.
Well, they're playing for pride now.
Livett now strikes the ball. He's successful, so that's the 50 up for Warrington. Terrible day at the office for Featherstone this afternoon at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
I think the Rovers need to look to save some face now. But the last thing that they want is the crowd going home 20 minutes early.
I think, yeah. I'm surprised that as many have stayed as they have, actually. So Scott Turner with the kickoff. With the kickoffs, and there's a little bit of a gap there for the Warrington player. Brings it up to the 30.
Sam Brooks taking the place of number 13, sponsored by Unique Electrical, Richard Moore.
So Richard Moore it is who's made way for Sam Brooks, that interchange. So the ball's being passed along the line, as we've seen so often with Warrington this afternoon, from one side to the other. And they're looking to make the break. with Pomeroy. He's away. He's got through the Featherstone tacklers. He's still through the Featherstone tacklers. Gets it to that man Hiku, who we know is so strong. Good tackle in the end by Sam Brooks. Just onto the field, but they're 12 metres away, and Gidley's got the ball. He held on to it, but he's got it away eventually, down to that left-hand side, and they're bringing it back into the middle, and they're going for that line, and I think they're held up over the line. Good tackling in the end. It was Ben Curry with the ball in hand, and Featherstone looked like they've been knocked over like Skittles there as they're trying to get back up, but they did well to hold Curry out.
The tackle. I think we've got 1 or 2 underneath him to stop him grounding the ball.
Gidley now with a short pass coming to Mike Cooper, who gets hauled down just short of the line. Featherstone on the rack here. Gidley going for a try. Gidley's on his back just short of... Oh, he's held up over the try line once again. It's going to have to be brought back to the 10 again. It's... goal line defensive tackling here from Featherstone Rovers. It's actually the turnover. It was the last tackle when Gidley went forward. So Featherstone survived that. That's a bright spark in the Featherstone Rovers performance. Was that goal line defence on that set of 6? Because they were certainly tested, weren't they?
Well, I think was that 3 times in the set that they were held up over on the line.
It was.
It shows good. I mean, to me, there's not much wrong with the goal line defence in the middle. So it's when the ball is spread out wide that we look vulnerable.
So Scott Turner now is 5 metres short of the line and of the 40-metre line.
Thackeray's back on now. He tried a bit of a show and go there, but didn't make any ground.
So just see who Thackeray's come on for. Wildy and Briggs are still out there, so we'll have a look.
Wildy's going to dummy half, so it's probably
Carlisle. Thackeray's taken off the ball after he kicks it there. It's Jack Hughes who put him to the floor. It was legal though, so Warrington going to get the putting at the scrum, 15 metres away. Yeah, it is Cale Carlisle that's made way for Anthony Thackeray.
Being replaced by number 7, Anthony Thackeray, sponsored by Barker Fencing.
So, putting at the scrum here for Warrington. The referee just stops the clock. It looks like it's Hiku who's going to put the ball in at the scrum. For Warrington, comes out the back to Livette. He's had a brace of tries. There have been several Warrington players that have had a brace of tries this afternoon, unfortunately. It's unfortunate news for Featherstone Rovers fans is that Warrington have piled on this scoreline, and like you say, Steve, it's about playing for pride now as they get it out the back door to Warrington, and Hiku gets the ball out to their right-hand side of attack, but that's good tackling there by Thackeray, but they still get the ball away to Warrington, and they're in a little bit of space. Eventually, Johnson gets tackled on the Featherstone 40. Now comes to Gidley. Gidley's ran the show. He's just standing there with the ball, waiting for the tacklers to come. And oh my gosh, they did come there with Farrell and Talapapa. Eventually plays the ball on the 30. Comes to King, and then Sims, who's back on the field. Lockwood holds him down. It's the last tackle, 18 metres away from the line. It comes to the left-hand side with Hiku. Hiku puts a forward, passing there. It goes to ground. Briggs has got the ball. He gets it away to Josh Walters. It's a foot race. He manages to hand one off. Why did he pass the ball? It's back to one. He tried to
I think he lost it in the tackle there, Joe.
I thought he tried to pass it, to be honest, and then referees called something back here. Let's see. Was it a free play? Or what's he given? It's a Warrington put in. He says that it's a knock on. A forward pass. So yeah, it was brought back. It was a free play. So Warrington get the put in at the scrum, 5 metres short of the halfway line, but I thought Walters looked, I don't know, he didn't seem to be carrying the ball right, and you know, he'd broke away, he'd handed off a Warrington player. I thought he was looking to get the ball away, but it didn't happen. And it's been the story of Featherstone's afternoon. Completion rate's not been great neither, has it? No. You know, even when they've had the ball in hand, the scarce times that they have, I know they're trying to chase a try, but, you know, a little bit of composure is needed as Chris Hill comes onto the field for George King as Warrington take it up to the Featherstone 40. Dummy half is Morgan Smith. He gets it to Gidley, to Sims. Sims is tackled on the 30-metre line. Now to Gidley. Gidley's running across the line and he lays the ball off to Jack Hughes, who takes it up to the 10. To Gidley now. Gidley shows a dummy. He's looking to go himself, but Farrell and Brooks have the measure of him and they put him to the floor. It's the last tackle, so Smith's looking to see who is going to get this ball out to now, because Gidley's been the one tackled. It's Ratchford. Ratchford floats a kick over to the other side, and Hardcastle does well. He takes the ball under pressure and plays the ball on the 10-metre line. It now comes to Walters. Featherstone with a good quick ruck there, and they're making the way up the field, but Walters not able to play the ball quickly that time, and sometimes you have to have a fast ruck to keep Warrington on the back foot, but that's not happening once again now as Slow play the balls, as Warrington sort of taking a lot of time to get off them. Sam Brooks now with the ball to Luke Cooper, but Gidley comes up with a good tackle. It looks as though Luke Cooper could have been through there, but that was a good tackle by Gidley. It's the last tackle, comes to Thackeray. Thackeray with a little kick forward, and Turner's chasing it, and Thackeray's chasing it. Ratchford takes the ball and dives to the floor with it. You could have said it were a voluntary tackle, but I don't think they do those anymore, do they?
He certainly didn't want to get up.
No, I think he felt that Turner would have dragged him into touch if he had. Comes into the middle with Ashton Sims. Sims gets the ball away. That's taken well by Matty
Russell. By Sims, that was very lucky to go to a Warrington hand, and they're just throwing the ball about.
That's a great offload though now, when Warrington are on the charge and the kick's put through for Ratchford to chase, but he overruns it, so he's having to check back. Another kick's put through now for Warrington to chase once again, and they go in for a try with Jack Johnson. But like you say, it's the offloads, you make your own look. That pass from Ashton Sims, it managed to get out the back door. Matty Russell took it forward. He managed to get the ball away out of the back door as well, under Featherstone tacklers. And really, those offloads are killing Featherstone, and that's the way that you put scorelines like this on, is just throwing it about with gay abandon, really. Yeah,
could even say wild abandon as well, because a lot of those passes could have gone to ground, but it's just Featherstone's luck, actually, that the number of times that those offloads and passes have gone out, they've all stuck, really. And I did that one there. Stephen Ratchford, was it? That's on the kick out to the corner.
It was Stephen Ratchford. It was enterprising play with him. He'd overrun the kick that had been put through for himself. So he did sort of like overrun that in, made a little bit of an error, managed to pick the ball up, but he still had the foresight to be able to get that kick over to the right hand side for Jack Johnson to chase and go in for the try there for Warrington Wolves. So
I think they just enjoyed themselves when in celebratory mood.
We said that.
Throwing the ball about, and
we talked about it. We talked about it, didn't we, before the game? They said that they could see this game as pressure's eased off. They're not having to chase Super League status anymore. They can relax. They've got tons of quality in their squad. Livette kicks the conversion. That makes it 56-0 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Still 17 and a half minutes left in this game. It seemed like the longest game I've ever had to commentate on as this one.
I'll tell you what, Joe, I'm glad I'm not writing the match report for League Express.
There'd be plenty to write.
Yes.
Your fingers would be typing away there. Scott Turner with the kickoff. It's a long, deep one this time. Straight into the hands of Ratchford, though, and he lays it off to Chris Hill, who takes it up to the 20-metre line. Yeah, we'll have to clip the highlights for this after the game. I think it's probably going to be our lowest viewed highlights, I'd imagine, by Featherstone fans. Will this one? Perhaps even top the witness viewing figures. It's not going to be pretty watching for anybody who loves this club down here.
The worst part of it, Joe, is will it affect season ticket sales?
Well, you've always got to question that, haven't you? And at this stage of the season, I think the only thing that would redeem that would be if Featherstone come up with a fantastic performance at Halifax next week.
Well, they've done that in the past, in that they put in an abysmal performance and then bounce back.
Good take by Kyron Johnson, and he managed to evade the onrushing chasers from that kick there, and he's certainly redeemed himself from that. The first 2 minutes where he spilt the ball, he's taken every kick since well, apart from one little jittery one, but all the others he's taken really well. So Josh Walters with the ball now, but Warrington defence, that defensive line's just up so quickly on Featherstone. They've got no time to think with the ball in hand. Thackeray now, though, shells a dummy. Thackeray up to the 40 metre. They're still in their own half. We're getting excited. They're still in their own half, but Connor Farrell on the halfway line. It's the last tackle. So Briggs in at dummy half. He drills the kick through. It goes to the ground, so that's what you want to get. And Ratchford chases back. Ratchford picks it up, though, and jogs forward towards the 20 metre. He gets tackled by Farrell, Thackeray and Talapapa. So Warrington bringing it forward once again.
Number 21, sponsored by Martin's, who's going to change it upward, making way for number 8. Sponsored by
Daryl Griffin's on for James Lockwood now. So Warrington taking it over the 40 metre line. It's not a bad defensive set, this one from Featherstone. I think anyway, that looked a forward pass to Chris Hill again. The forward passes haven't been picked up. I mean, I know Warrington have been streets ahead of Featherstone. It's the last tackle now. But it's not helped when the refs don't pick forward passes up, is it? Morgan Smith with a kick from dummy half. That goes dead. So Featherstone going to get 7 tackles. Whoa, 7 tackles with the ball in hand. 20 metre restart. Kyron Johnson to Scott Turner.
Let's just hope they keep the ball for 7 tackles.
Yes. So Scott Turner just short of the 30. It goes to Josh Walters, who's playing out on that right-hand centre. He gets 3 players around him, does Walters. Hardcastle takes it from dummy half. Again, though, strong Warrington tackling. They're not getting many metres forward here. Griffin, who's come back on the field, he takes it forward over the 40. Can Featherstone get in the Warrington half? Brooks now. Brooks to Briggs. Briggs goes behind Farrell and Johnson picks it up. I'm not sure if Farrell had touched that then, but the referee says it's not a knock-on. Thackeray with a dummy from dummy half. He's trying his best here and gets up to halfway. The ball's lost and it's a penalty, so did well there. He was under pressure from Smith and Sims. And just a bit of interference on Thackeray, so the penalty goes. Marker's not square, he says, the referee, and Thackeray's going to put the kick to touch. And Featherstone are going to take the tap. 35 metres away from that Warrington line. So Farrell takes the ball in first. What can Featherstone do with the ball? Can they get the first points on the board this afternoon? Daryl Griffin taking it forward now. That's a good run by Griffin. Scott Turner here on the left wing, asking for the ball to be whipped out wide to him, but it doesn't. It goes to the right-hand side with Wildy. Wildy going himself, but gets tackled 5 metres short. Featherstone near that line. Cooper now with the ball. Not really timing his run correctly there, and he just gets tackled a couple of metres short. Wildy going himself. Warrington defence wise to that. It's the last tackle for Featherstone. Briggs in at dummy half. Is he going to put something on it? It goes to Thackeray. Thackeray puts the kick through. It ricochets from the Warrington player. It's going to be a knock-on. So I think Featherstone are going to get another set of 6 here. The scrum is going to get put down on the 10 metre line, and it certainly is another set of 6 to Featherstone.
Bit of a respite there. I can't remember how long they've been up here. What? 2 minutes, all of?
All of 2 minutes up near the Warrington line. So
it's
giving people something to shout about a little bit, but Thackeray going to put the ball at scrum. Warrington will be wanting to keep the There's a bit of a messy scrum going on here. The referee's just counting the number of Warrington players in there. Warrington will be wanting to keep Featherstone out. They don't want a blemish on their scoreline. Josh Walters it is now that has the ball. Doesn't get it away to Hardcastle though. Hardcastle was looking for it on that right wing. 10 metres out still, and that's a penalty because Kurt Gidley was all over the top of Josh Walters there. Wildy looking to take the quick tap. It's not coming. Referee wasn't ready. So Wildy's going to take the tap on the 10. Comes now to Kyle Briggs, to Sam Brooks. Brooks taking it forward. He's 8 metres out. Wildy in at dummy half. Comes out to the right to Briggs. He puts a long pass out to Josh Hardcastle. He's going to try to go for the line, but he gets pushed into touch by that Warrington. It's always the danger when you put a long pass out there against a strong defence, isn't it, Steve?
There were too many tacklers there for Josh to do anything.
Disappointing so early in the tackle count as well.
It was, yes, yeah. But with his predatory instincts, it's normally so strong in those positions to get over the line. So it's where he went for it. He'd have been better off actually coming inside. But,
it would. And he's not used to being, I guess, on the line.
He's not a winger. He's been lost. I mean, he stood up well today as Josh, but as you say, he's not used to wing play.
He's not. So Warrington going to get possession back. It was a brief respite, as you just talking about us having a respite, but it was extremely brief, as that was only on the second tackle of the 6 that happened. So Warrington taking the ball forward again. We have seen this, like I say, primrose and blue machine coming towards the blue and whites this afternoon on a regular basis. If you looked at the statistics, I'm sure it'd show perhaps about 70-30% in terms of amount of possession and probably territory. So Chris Hill it is with the ball. He's taken it forward towards his own 40. Morgan Smith is replaced on the field. Kurt Gidley takes it forward. Can't quite see who it is who's replaced him. It's Clark. That's a good charge down by Farrell, but fortuitously for Warrington, it bounces into Ratchford's hands.
We talk about the look of the bounce, don't we? And now we've conceded a penalty as well.
Yeah, Wildy and Thackeray laying on there on the tackler on Ratchford, but like you say, a look of the bounce. Farrell, it was a good charge down from him, and he was chasing it, but it just bounced straight into Ratchford's hands. Darryl Clark, it is who's returned to the field for Smith. He passes it, and Warrington take it forward with Jack Hughes on the 10-metre line. It comes to Gidley. Gidley out to Hiku. Hiku looking for a runner there, but he decides to hold on to the ball. Hiku it is who's gotten to stand off since Brown left the field, and it comes back to Ratchford now. Ratchford lays it off to Chris Hill. 5 metres out of Warrington. Looking dangerous once again. Comes to Gidley. Gidley to Clark. Clark to Hiku. Hiku just pushes Thackeray off, and he goes in for that try. His second, his hat trick. In fact, it's his hat trick. Peter Hiku. He's been far too strong for Featherstone, hasn't he? This afternoon.
It was part of the Thackeray trying to tackle him hard.
Yeah. That brings up the 60 for Warrington. 0 for Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone not able to breach that Warrington try line this afternoon.
I don't think they spent enough time in Warrington's 20-metre.
Just wondering what the stats are in terms of Featherstone's worst defeat in the club record history. Trying to think what that could be. We're definitely not wanting to break that record this afternoon, are we? Luke Cooper leaves the field. He's not had a bad performance, hasn't Luke? Livette now looking to convert. He's wrapped up some conversion points this afternoon as Livette, and he gets the ball between the sticks. That's 62 points to 0 in favour of Warrington here this afternoon at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Just short of 7 minutes of play. If anybody out there knows the Featherstone Rovers' worst defeat score and whether we're anywhere near it, please let us know.
I remember that one away in the cup away at St Helens. Was it 2012? Sorry, it was against St Helens at Widnes. It's under when Darrell was in charge.
Yeah.
I think that was the season. Was that 2011 when we actually won the grand final?
Mark Las Palmas has come in with the stats. Thank you, Mark. Record defeat is 80 points to 12 against Bradford in 2005. I think that was a cup game as well. I was here.
Yes.
I seem to remember Leon Price running the show in that game as well. I was stood at the railway end on the terracing. Yeah. Was it an evening game or I can't remember, but it was pretty gloomy. Whatever. From a Featherstone fan's point of view, so yeah.
I can remember fielding that being outstanding for them.
There you go, 2011, the record margin, Saints 70, Featherstone 0.
Yes,
so
that was painful that day. But
Warrington.
I can remember us all singing in the stands, though.
Well, there's no Featherstone fans singing today, unfortunately. Perhaps expectations are different now. As the kick's put through, it's shadowed into touch by Johnson, so Featherstone going to get put in at the scrum on their own 10-metre line here. But yeah, they're in danger. They're 8 points in danger of the worst losing margin here at home. Featherstone fans, there's some stalwart Featherstone fans still here. They'll want to clap the team off, but it's not the way that the team want to sign off, is it? On the home turf at the end of a season, isn't this?
They'll have to put in a good display next week.
Yeah. So, ball comes out the scrum to Hardcastle. Gets tackled 12 metres out. The other thing, Steve, as well, just while Featherstone have got the ball in hand down at their own end of the field, it's going to be a tough season next season with Toronto coming in. They're splashing the cash, aren't they? Big style, signing some really big players, including Ashton Sims, who we can see out here now. Some really big signings. Toulouse are going to be full-time. Whoever comes down from Super League will be full-time. And London will be full-time. So it's going to be a real tough league next year. And to get in the top 4 will be a massive challenge for this team.
It certainly will be tough, but you've got some teams there that all they're used to is winning. But when it gets tough, they'll be in a different situation. Will be better to handle that pressure.
Kick comes from Thackeray. It's not the best. It's taken easily there by Warrington. They bring it up just short of the 40. It was taken well there and by Jack Johnson. Three and a half minutes left remaining in this game. It's Featherstone 0, Warrington 62. And Warrington on the charge again. It comes to Johnson, but he actually knocks the ball on. So respite for Featherstone. They're going to get the scrum on their own 40. Can they race up to the other end of the field? 2,441 was the attendance there, I think.
Very disappointing for it.
Massively disappointing, isn't it? To be fair, there's not many Warrington fans made the journey. I thought there'd be more. I think they'd sold 561 tickets at the club.
I think there would have been many more if they needed to win today.
Yeah, it's a nothing game for them, really, isn't it? They'll be saving themselves for their home game next week. That's where they'll be doing the celebrations. John Davis on the charge now for Featherstone, and it's about Featherstone trying to get fans in through the door and into this stadium, and it's how do they do that? And unfortunately, scorelines like this aren't going to help that cause as Featherstone get a penalty here. Carlisle puts the boot to ball. He puts the ball into touch, 20 metres out away from that Warrington try line. Come on, Featherstone. Carlisle with the tap now to Davis. Davis takes it forward 15 metres out. Now to Daryl Griffin. Griffin with a short ball to Brooks. Brooks puts the ball to the floor. It's been the story of Featherstone Rovers afternoon. Ratchford chasing it forward. He eventually gets tackled just short of the Featherstone 40 as the referee wipes the tackle count clean. And Warrington come on the charge once again with Savelio. Brooks trying to tackle him, and Smith comes back onto the field for Warrington for the last couple of minutes. Now comes to Chris Hill, to Gidley. Out to Smith, to Hiku. Hiku once again going round Talapapa. And they're out on that right-hand try line. They've scored at Warrington with Jack Johnson. Jack Johnson it is who gets over that try line in that right-hand corner for Warrington. That brings up the 66 for them. Clickety-click. 66 points to 0.
Yeah, so easy again for Warrington, and it was Hiku again who created the space and then sent the wingman down. And it was a poor tackle attempt by Talapapa, and then it looked as though Johnson tackled him on the line, but he managed to stretch out and get the ball over.
I think Talapapa, I've seen him a couple of times now playing centre. He does have defensive frailties. With ball in hand in attack, he's fantastic, but you've got to admit he's been found out defensively by some of these Super League sides, and also Hull KR, like I say, with Heffernan, Andrew Heffernan. It was the other week down here at the LD Nutrition that found him out, and not sure that his centre is his strongest role, if I was to admit.
To tell you the truth, I think we've missed him on the wing, because he's so good at bringing the ball up from the wing position. He helps the forwards out a lot and makes more ground than any of the forwards.
He does, yeah, but he's really struggled out there in this centre position against Hiku. I mean, Hiku's a big guy, isn't he? But he's just been too strong and fast for Talapapa this afternoon.
It certainly has. It reminds me a lot of Menzieri.
It does, yeah.
It's a
good guy to have in your team.
It certainly is.
Livette now with the conversion attempt. That's successful. 68 points to 0. 7 seconds left. The record won't be broken for the largest losing margin. That's one positive we can see from the game today. But the final hooter goes. Featherstone have been given a lesson in how to play top-class rugby league this afternoon by Warrington Wolves. They've gone down by 68 points to 0 here at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
Yeah,
I was just going to say, I think it'd take me too long to go through all the scorers for Warrington Wolves. I'm not going to do that. We know that they've scored lots of tries this afternoon, and it's not been the best of games for Featherstone. What they've got to do is pick themselves up now, get to the Shea next week, and put some pride back into this Featherstone Rovers jersey.
Yeah, I mean, Warrington have just been too good for them. Just like Leeds were in last year's qualifiers. It's they just put the foot on the gas, put the foot on our throat, really, as if to say, we're too good to be here.
It's an issue that Featherstone Rovers do have in these Super 8 qualifiers. We saw it last year as well. When they face Super League opposition, it's almost as if they give them too much respect.
They do, yes. I mean, after seeing the way Halifax played against them, we thought that we had a real good chance here.
Yeah.
And after last week's performance, I mean, how can you comprehend from the last two games how well they've played?
You can. I mean, Warrington have been, like I say, a class above, a couple of classes above this afternoon, but still it's not been the committed performance from Featherstone that we've seen over the last few weeks, like we saw against Hull KR and against Catalan. And it's going to have to be a very different performance at the Shea that Featherstone need to bring next week. else they might end up with the wooden spoon in this division, and that's certainly something that they'll be wanting to avoid, because points difference is certainly against them now after the blowouts against Widnes and Warrington.
Yes.
So it has ended up 68 points to 0, the final score this afternoon. Thank you to Steve Slater for joining me on commentary this afternoon. It's been a pleasure commentating with you.
You're welcome, Joe.
We'll be going down to the press conference now to see exactly what John Duffy has got to say about this performance. It will be very interesting to hear his thoughts. So please join us for the game at the Shea next week. If you can't get there in person, make sure you tune in to Rovers TV. We'll be bringing you full live commentary as usual. Thanks for listening.